Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, and thanks for tuning in. Dr. Jules here, and today is a day for some real talk. So instead of having a pre planned subject that I want to discuss, I kind of just want to wing it and talk about the process of change. Now, who have been following me for a while notice that I changed my logo. It used to be a stethoscope with a plant saying plant based Dr. Jules around it. I removed the lettering and just kept the plant and the stethoscope. Now, some people ask me why I changed my logo. It's pretty simple. As soon as people found out that my name was Plant Based Dr. Jules, and that my website was plantbaseddrjules.com, a lot of people kind of became a little bit, I don't want to say defensive, probably not the right word, maybe intimidated by or even stereotyped my message, thinking that I was going to be this super aggressive advocate for the plant based lifestyle and trying to convince people to go 100% plant based. As a matter of fact, a lot of people, when they kind of meet me for the first time, one of the first things that they say is, "Oh, I don't know how you do it. I could never go 100% plant based." To which I reply, um, "You don't need to." I chose that for me. I chose that for health. I chose that because I had an urgency to change. Most of you now know that my health was in peril. My kids' health were in peril, and that kind of created an urgency to change and kind of created my aha moment for me. Once I really connected with the cause that I was fighting, which is the illnesses that me and my children were going through, it was pretty easy to transition fully. And as soon as I saw the insane benefits for my health, my recovery, and same thing in my kids, I was motivated to go all the way. Now, I changed for health. That's what kind of instigated my journey. But as I was kind of about 80 to 90% plant based, I had the confidence and knew that going the extra 10 to 15% wasn't going to be too complicated for me. But that being said, I still found it very difficult to cut out that little bit of dairy milk in my coffee, or that Friday night at the keg restaurant where we ate a steak. It did create a lot of friction transitioning, and that's why the last 10 to 15% of my plant based journey kind of stalled for a good 5, 6 months. Um, but I mean, I was still really convinced that I wanted to kind of go 100%. And as I was reading more on the subject of plant based nutrition, I kind of learned that, well, my carbon footprint it was going to be reduced quite a bit, almost by 50%. By going 100% plant based, I connected this with this cause deeply, and became another one of my motivators. And then someone suggested that I watch Dominion and Earthlings, which are two documentaries that kept me up that night. Um, Viewer discretion is advised is pretty much hidden cameras in slaughterhouses. And once I saw what was happening to these defenseless animals and how the dairy industry was just a brutal and cruel industry, um, I went the last 10 to 15% pretty much overnight. And I never looked back. That's been more than a decade now. And although I can't say that I went vegan for ethical reasons, um, or for the climate, it does play a significant role in who I am and the way I eat today. I don't feel much friction, or I don't feel many limitations from the way I eat, because I've been pretty forward with my friends and my social circles, who now understand who I am now and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Don't mind my dog, who is pouncing on some toys there, some squeaky toys. He'll probably be in and out of my videos. You're gonna have to get used to it. That's Fluffy. So, I mean, moral of the story is that once I started transitioning, I felt very inadequate. The first few months, I was following a lot of vegan influencers online and on YouTube, and they were very intense about going all the way and about if someone's saying I just eat a little bit of meat, and they were saying this was completely inadequate because the animal is 100% dead even if you just eat a little meat. And I felt really inadequate because I was in that gray zone where I was eating a little bit of meat. I didn't connect specifically with the whole ethical movement or ethical motivation behind my dietary pattern. I was doing it to get my health back. I could appreciate the animal cruelty, and I really appreciated how going plant based would reduce that. But at the end of the day, that's not the reasons that fueled my journey. They came later, but it didn't start that way, and that's why that I was motivated to get out there and to go online and to create a Facebook page and an Instagram account and everything else, like my wife suggested I do, because I felt there weren't many influencers out there. Not that I consider myself an influencer, but there wasn't any people online that were talking about the nuances of transitioning, right? I do get right now in 2023 that the goal is always 100% whole food, plant based, and eating for the climate and eating for the animals. But I remember not being there. I remember wanting to be there, but being in that gray zone where I was transitioning towards my ultimate goal, I was very farther along than when I started, but I was not at 100% plant based, and felt very guilty when everyone was saying that this was not adequate. Because for me, I was doing my best, trying to live my life, trying to keep my social life going, and working 60-hour weeks and kids' activities and training. And it was a lot to juggle. And I really didn't appreciate influencers that made me feel guilty for eating a little bit of meat. And that's why I always wanted to make sure that I stay in my lane. And my lane is health. There are a lot of vegan channels out there if that's what you want. But I probably won't be talking about ethical veganism too much on this channel, because I wanted to tailor my message to those that are contemplating changing but are not right there, or don't maybe want to get right there. A lot of people simply don't have the confidence to make that first step towards a plant-based diet, and that's where I want to help people. I want to help people get the confidence they need to start moving across the transitioning spectrum, so that they gain confidence, they gain knowledge, and along the way they see that going 100% plant-based is not that complicated. And Fluffy, qu'est-ce que tu comptes? That's it. Yeah, you bullshit. Because we all love animals, and I love my dog Fluffy. Now, it's not everyone that values going 100% plant-based, and I don't want to rub people the wrong way by promoting veganism in an aggressive way. I think everyone should be vegan, and I am too now. But at the end of the day, I think that the message that I got when I started transitioning really turned me off. And I always promised myself that I wouldn't be pushy or an activist. I just wanted people to see the nuances. And the truth of the matter is, in real life, unfortunately, meat is part of almost every single meal and every single restaurant and every single recipe and every single grocery store that people are going to be in. So it's impossible for me to, or it's unrealistic for me to stand here like the 97% of people who choose to eat meat are all wrong and blind and irresponsible. I think that once confronted to the truths and the real things that are going on in these slaughterhouses, I think that people will hopefully kind of wake up. But at the end of the day, all I want is for people to get healthy. And by eating a little less meat and having a stepwise approach, I think people will get there. We need more people doing plant-based diets imperfectly than we need a few people doing it perfectly. If we are to reduce animal cruelty and the impacts on our climate on a global scale, we need a lot more people on board. And I find that an extremist position or an extremist stance on how to do it will end up turning off a lot more people than it will turn on. So that's my message. I do identify as a plant based vegan athlete, doctor, daddy, and hopefully influencer. Um, but at the end of the day, I just want people to eat more plants on their plate, right? I am a doctor first and foremost, and did transition for health reasons first. And I'm hoping that my journey towards better health will motivate people to consider starting on that journey and even just being open minded enough to make some changes that hopefully down the line might lead to a reduced carbon footprint and reduced animal cruelty. Right on? Fluffy wants to go outside, so I'm going to have to leave you with that. Thanks so much for your attention. Thanks for listening. If you've liked this video and would like more of these, just kind of press like or comment. My goal is never to offend anyone. I'm just a regular guy from Canada that's talking to a camera. Hopefully, everyone will stay respectful in the comments section, and hopefully you'll tune into my next video. All right, cool. All right, thanks for tuning in. You have a great day. Peace.